Music Net Lessons, and this is Trumpet Lesson number 8. How to practice Claude Gordon's systematic approach to trumpet, parts 1 and part 2. First thing I like to do is, well, you got to download the files, and I would print them out so you can have them on the stand and you can play and you can pause the video. Now that you have access to the video, you can access it anytime you like. I'll be referring to the measure numbers that are on the page as we go through the studies. First thing I like to do is get the breathing good. Claude Gordon always said chest up, big breath. And it's very simple. When you breathe in, your chest comes up. You want to try to keep that chest up all the time when you're doing these studies. You also notice that I'm standing when I play this stuff, and always stand when doing Claude Gordon's systematic approach. He made us stand at you know, all through the whole lessons. But definitely when you're doing systematic approach, you want to get that, you know, breathing as good as possible, and standing is the best way. I like to do an exercise called ha, to breathing. Just say ha, to. Now watch this. Very simple, keeping the chest up. When you breathe in, say ha, allow your lungs to fill up. You don't have to overfill, just relax. I'm pushing all that air out, and I'm keeping my chest up the whole time. Chest up, big breath is very important. It utilizes the abdominal muscles, the chest muscles, and the back muscles. Claude used to talk about a bellows like this. So that's very important, and you notice that during when I play these and demonstrate them for you, I'll have my chest up the whole time. All right, so part 1 in systematic approach is the pedal tone study. Now, the study that I'm giving you doesn't actually appear in the book, but it's very similar to those that do. Most of the pedal tone studies begin with the first 5 notes that I have written here, chromatic. They go down 2 half steps and back up, C, B, B flat, B, C. Now, Claude Gordon never said this, but I think of it as like a little miniature flow study, just to get the air going through the horn and get something, you know, get you going. Play these slowly, evenly, and after the first 5 notes, take a breath, and then you continue on with the arpeggio. Okay, so here's how I like to play those first 5 notes. So I want to get a nice resonant sound on those first 5 notes before I continue with the arpeggio. Okay, so also I want to mention resting between each measure or each arpeggio, each key. And Claude always said rest as much as you play. And that's very important. Some of the exercises in systematic approach, they don't have a breath. He's got the slur over the whole thing. I say take a breath after the first 5 notes, and that's the way Claude taught me to play them. All right. So the long hold at the end of the arpeggio, and you'll be seeing this demonstrated here in just a minute. You need to hold that last note until all your air is gone, and even longer and longer and longer. Claude used to say hold it until the stomach shakes. My stomach doesn't really shake, but I can feel those muscles and everything contract while I'm blowing every little bit of air out on those last notes. You really got to make a real good effort on those last notes and squeeze every ounce of air, even when there's no sound. All right, so now I'm going to demonstrate measures 1 and 2. Okay, so that's basically how to do the exercise. Now, we haven't had any pedal tones yet, so this continues down through measure 5. That will take you down to a low F sharp. In the first 5 notes, you'll have the third note will be a low F sharp. That's the bottom of the trumpet's range. Okay, so now we get into pedal tones, and pedal tones on trumpet are divided into 3 ranges, or registers. The first register begins at pedal F and goes down to D flat. I like to think of these as just an extension of the low register. They're kind of like lip down low notes. Now, if you look at bar 6, you will see that I have a little F arpeggio in parenthesis that goes down to the pedal F. Just let yourself go from the low A down to the F, slide down to it, and just try to get the feel of that pedal range, kind of like this. Just let yourself slide down to that low F. It helps to think O, because we're going down low. Some people can pivot the trumpet a little bit to help get it. You don't want to overdo that aspect of it. Here it is one more time. Now, they never sound very good. That's about as good as I can get a pedal F to sound. Because there's really no like slot on the horn. Although, if you listen to that last one, it did kind of lock in when I hit the F. Okay, so do that a few times to get the feeling of the pedal F. And then you're ready to continue on with measure 6, which continues our arpeggios, exercise, and now we're going down to the pedals. Now, pedal tones, always use your lower octave fingerings. So, E is always 1, 2, E flat is 2, 3, D, D flat. And then when you get down to the pedal tones in the next range, you got your G and your F sharp, okay? Always use the lower octave fingerings. All these fingerings have been clearly marked in your music. Alright, so now I'll continue down with measures 6 through 13. Okay, so if you've completed measure 10, then now this is taking you down to pedal D flat. And that's the end of the first range of pedal tones. Those generally come pretty easy. Claude used to call those the good pedals because they were easy. And now you get to bar 11. And the first thing is I have a little C arpeggio, which is going to take us down to pedal C. Now this is where people get into trouble. But the thing is, the way we approach the first group of pedals is we lip down to them from above. Pedal C come from below. The first thing is to establish the range, establish the register, get the correct sound on the note. Don't try to come down to it. Let's go beneath it. Allow the note to be flat. Okay? Like this. Just let that sucker sit right there. It's okay for it to be flat. Now, do that a few times to just get the feel of this register of pedal tones. This register goes from the pedal C down to the pedal F sharp. It's the most difficult range of the pedal tones. Alright, now we want to eventually get that in tune. If it doesn't come right away, that's okay. But here's how we do it. First establish the range, put a little more air on it, and bring it up. We don't want to bring it up too far, though. That's what people normally do when they first try to bring it up. Just try to bring it up a little bit. Now, notice I didn't leave that pedal register. Alright? We don't want it to jump up. If you give it too much air, it's going to want to jump up. Now, if you're getting good at that and it's working for you, now you can put a lot more air on it and bring that sucker up. And if you think E, arch your tongue a little bit, you can bring that pedal tone up into tune, like this. And there it is, pedal C. Now eventually, you'll be able to go right down to that note and it'll be in tune. Now, this continues on down through pedal F sharp. So, in your music, you got exercise measure 13. After that, you want to go back to measure 2, DS, and play it 8V B, an octave lower. And this will continue all the way up to measure 5 again. And now you're ready for the double pedals, which begin with pedal F. Now, I should mention that every time you play a pedal tone, and that would be the first note that you're going to play, you want to sound the octave. So, I'm looking at measure 6, and now I'm playing, measure 8, and now I'm playing this an octave lower. So I want to sound the octave. Like so. You can also, if you want, play those first 5 notes. Like that. And that's another way to sound the octave. Alright. So, continue on, and you get all the way to measure 13, and now you've reached double pedal C. You can keep going past that. I normally stop at double pedal C. Sometimes I like to take it all the way to F. Okay, couple variations that you can do as you get more advanced. Look at measure 14. And in measure 14, we start on low C, but now we take it all the way up to high C on arpeggio, and then down to pedal C, like this. And then we have a variation, the bar 15, where we're starting on the pedal C, going all the way up to high C. And then at the end, we're coming back down to the double pedal C. So every time you reach a pedal C, you can add an octave on the top. So that's how to play the pedal tone steady. Take a break after the pedal tone steady, rest for 15 minutes, and then we'll come back with part 2. doing pretty good until we missed our high F there. So you get 3 attempts, and if you don't make it on the 3rd attempt, then you are done. But here's the 2nd attempt. Okay, so we got that one, and now we're ready to go on to the next one. This will take us up to high F sharp. Okay, so I missed that. Now, what counts? What counts is it making a note and not? You probably heard there was a little note there. I got a little piece of it. But to me, that doesn't count to me. That's more, you know, I'm fizzing out up there. So, you know, that was it for me. If you get tired when you're playing your range exercise too, you can quit. You know, you don't want to get tired. If you rest properly, you shouldn't get tired. But when you get to the top of your range, you know, it takes a little more effort. So if you start getting tired, then just quit. And, you know, if you get a piece of the note and it's not completely all there, you can count that and keep going. Alright? That's okay. But for me, I wanted a good solid note. So I said that was it. Now, after you do part 2, you want to do part 3, which is on the next page, and this is the lip relaxer. And basically it's just a C arpeggio that goes down to pedal C, double pedal C, and finally triple pedal C. Here it is, the lip relaxer, and after you're done with that, you're going to rest 1 hour.